There's nothing really more soul-crushing than something you loved from your childhood not living up to that expectation. Sure, there's probably other things like, you know, war and poverty and beheadings, but for me, it's a childhood cartoon not living up to the standards that I have bestowed upon it through nostalgic haze of memberberries. And that's kind of the case with Beast Wars. Released in 1996, I never got to watch a ton of the show growing up. It was more or less I had a lot of the toys, especially like the McDonald's Beast Wars toys. And so I've always had like a fond memory of that. I think there's a video game of it too. It's like maybe like a fighting game or something, or am I like confusing it with Primal Rage? I don't know. But regardless, I always had fond memories of Beast Wars because it was Transformers, but animals. So it's cooler. Like, who doesn't like animals over cars? So when I was in Half Price Books and I found 2 VHS copies of Beast Wars on VHS tape, obviously, I guess, I had to pick them up because I was like, alright, cool, it's time to relive childhood. Now, going into these, I thought these were actually like movies, because they have a runtime of like an hour and 45 minutes. One of them's even like a feature-length adventure. No, these are collections of episodes from the show, and they have no rhyme or reason, really. I guess with Beastie's Escape, the theme is they escape from something. I guess that's what the theme is. But for the other one, like, I guess it's just episodes that run up to an hour 45, and they were like, yep, we can ship this off. Now, the Beast Wars feature film, if you will, is 5 episodes basically smushed together where we get kind of introduced to what's going on in the story. The story is basically when the Autobots and the Decepticons are fighting in space, they crash land on this planet where they use their scan that they normally like pick up cards and stuff to find their fursonas, if you will. This is a bunch of furries. That planet, though, happens to be an abundance of energons, which is the thing that they're always after. And now the Autobots become the Maximals, and the Decepticons become the Predacons. What a terrible name. And this is pretty much the origins of the Beast Wars. Optimus Prime's like, Beast Wars! And Megatron becomes a T-Rex in this show, which is hilarious because, like, yeah, T-Rexes are big and scary, right? But normally when you see a T-Rex, they don't use their little arms. However, Megatron uses his little arms all the time, and it undermines him as a threat so much because it's so goofy looking. Yes. Also, he says, yes, like a bajillion times. Like, after every sentence, he has to go, yes.
I like you, pussycat. Yes.
It's like, what is going on here? He's also like the worst villain of all time because basically we watched 10 episodes on these 2 tapes and he does nothing every episode. The most damage he ever causes, he bites Optimus Prime's leg, and like that's it. Like, he gets taken out so easy constantly, and like Dinobot's like, dude, I'm out of here, I'm taking over the Predacons, you suck, or I'm leaving, basically. And Megatron's like, you'll step down for me. And then he has another character take out Dinobot, and it's like, he doesn't do anything. There's an episode where the pterodactyl thing tries a coup on Megatron, successfully gets the coup done, and then Megatron just like comes back at the end of the episode and is like, who would you rather follow, me or this loser? And everybody's like, we'll follow you. And it's like, he did nothing. He does nothing this entire show. He's like the worst villain in this series. He's like the least threatening villain of it. He might as well be a part of Team Rocket. You know what I mean? Like, he's just worthless. So yeah, the first episode on this tape is basically the intro to the Beast Wars, them crash landing and fighting their personas. And that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot going on here. The second episode, the Maximals and the Predacons get into a big war about the Energons. There's actually a ton of action in this episode, and it's actually probably, out of the 10 episodes I watched, the best one out of them, because it's relatively fun. However, the action in this series is pretty... I think this is the time we talk about the animation. You know, I always remember fondly of this show not looking like this. The animation is horrendous. Like, it is like far worse than like Jimmy Neutron. Oh god. Oh god, did I just ruin another memory? Is Jimmy Neutron not as good as I remember? It's been years since I've watched Jimmy Neutron. The last time I watched it, I kind of liked it. Uh-oh. Am I going to have to watch Jimmy Neutron? Or do I just hold it forever to be saved in my memory bank? But yeah, even though the action in this series and the animation is horrendous, because the action is just nonsensical, shaky flashes, basically, and the animation is just, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, it's still pretty fun. Like, this is a pretty fun episode, as opposed to a lot of them. Because a lot of these episodes boil down to, there's a big consequence that's wrapped up within seconds, and then we just move on to the next episode. And so for this one to actually have, like, that ending piece be majority of the episode, is actually pretty rewarding. The third episode, they think Optimal Prime is dead. Optimus Primal is dead. I think I said that backwards. The Maximals try to figure out who their new leader is going to be, while the Predacons take their opportunity to move on to them. And again, this is like one of those shows where every episode presents a problem, and then they solve that problem within like the last 5 minutes, and everything's hunky-dory. And that's exactly what happens here again. It's just the same thing over and over. Episode 4 on this one is Optimus Primal gets taken out again. Apparently, even though he does more than Megatron, apparently these leaders are pretty easy to KO. But there's a stasis pod that lands on the planet that we get introduced to Megatron, who is like this, he's more beast than robot. And he kind of wanders the land. He's like, I'm not picking a side here, but like I'm going to lean toward the Maximals, but like I'm going to go do my own thing. I'm going to chase around this tiger poo-tang, you know what I mean? So he's like going off to his own thing. He shows up a few more times. He's pretty cool though. I like his like whole white tiger design. It's pretty cool. Still looks funky, but it's pretty cool. And then the last episode on this tape is, we kind of open where the Autobots, we assume we open with the Autobots looking for the Maximals, the crash landing. I keep looking over on my notes. I'm so bad. And Cheetor and Tigatron get captured by Megatron. Megatron blows up a massive thing, taking out the Maximals, and then Cheetor and Tigatron show up to save the day. There's no real ending here. Both of these tapes have no real ending, because they're just a collection of episodes that get mushed together to be called a movie. And because of that, it's a pretty unsatisfying experience, because you're mushing together random episodes. It's not like these are the first 5 episodes or something. You're mushing together random episodes with just a fade to black and a fade in. Sometimes not even a fade in, being the transition period between the episodes. So you're getting this kind of jumbled experience, and then at the end of it, you're just getting a credit scroll, and you're like, well, that was a really unfulfilled experience. The next one is Beasties Escapes. Now, this is pretty much the exact same thing, where it's just 5 episodes smushed together, where this time they're kind of all centering around the Maximals escaping from a situation. So the first episode is Rat Trap is a rat. And basically, the Maximals suspect him to being a spy to the Predacons, because the Predacons keep showing up and Predaconing all over the place. And so they basically kick him to the curb. He shows up with the pterodactyl to overthrow Megatron, and then it turns out that he was a double agent the whole time, that Optimus Primal had this amazing plan for Rat Trap to infiltrate the Predacons and take out the Predacons and find out how they're tracking them and stuff. But then Optimus Primal doesn't tell anybody else in the group this, so they all just think Rat Trap's a dirty rat. And so it's pointless, because like Optimus Prime didn't suspect anybody in the group to be a spy, so there's no point for them to like withhold that information from them. I don't know, it's just really strange, but it's kind of alright. We get introduced to Black Arachnia, which I kind of completely understand why this was designed. Rule 34. I also think when like they maximize, that's when they turn it. I think it's maximized for the Maximals and terrorized for the Predacons when they turn into the robot forms. It's just kind of funny. It's just weird looking.
Tarantulas, terrorize!
Rhinox, maximize!
The next episode, though, Prime gets hit with a bug that turns him crazy. That turns him crazy, and they try to figure out a way to escape from that situation, which basically Prime just like, I'll just man through this, like I'm tough enough, and that's pretty much it. The next episode is about the Wasp doing some shenanigans as Dino and Rat get into it, which turns into basically setting off the Sentinel at the Maximals defense base. I feel like the way these words and syllables are is just kicking me back to like 6th grade speech therapy. And it is brutalizing my mind right now. But yeah, basically Rat Trap has to try and escape their own base and turn off the defense system. Pretty pointless throwaway filler episode. A lot of these could be considered filler episodes, honestly, because they don't really progress. I don't know. I would imagine the overarching story of Beast Wars is trying to get off the planet or to collect the Energons, right? Is that right? God, what is going on today? I need caffeine. Take a salt tablet. The next episode, the Predacons try to Dinobot nap the Rhinobot, whatever its name is. I can't remember what its name is. The Rhino bot or whatever. And they try to reprogram him. The Maximals come and rescue him. And Prime actually lands a pretty hard blow on Megatron here. Yes. And then the final episode, basically Dinobot bounces from the Maximals and is like, hey, you know, I'm not really like fitting in anywhere, so I'm just going to roam this planet and capture it and take it for my own and rule it with an iron fist. And Optimus is like, cool. See ya. It was good hanging with you. It was nice to chill with you, Dinobot. You enjoy your reign of conquer. We're gonna work on getting out of here. And then Megatron shows up. They take out Optimus Prime, and Megatron just like easily taken out with like little to no effort. I feel like I'm so bunched up here. This is a terrible spot to film. But yeah, so he's like easily taken out. Like he's like no effort, like low tier villain. Megatron just gets taken out, and that's the end of the tape. Like, these are just weird collections of tapes of episodes of the show that I don't think I want to watch the full show anymore. Like, that was always a show that I was like, I would like to get the Beast Wars series complete and like actually rewatch it. And then watching this was like, I don't know if I want to do that because it's not the best. It's pretty bad, like in my opinion. The animation has aged about as badly as the Cosby Show.
Your barbecue sauce.
My barbecue sauce. Haven't you ever noticed after people have some of my barbecue sauce, after a while when it kicks in, they get all huggy-buggy?
The humor is basically just animal puns and stuff, and they really lean into their personas here, and it's like kind of eye-rolly at some points, you know what I mean? And then yeah, there's like no... I imagine maybe if you watch the full show, there's like an overarching story, but between these 10 episodes, the only overarching story I can figure is they're both stranded on this planet and they're both collecting Energons, and that's it. Like, to me, it's like every episode on these, besides like the origin story episode or like character introduction episodes, are just like normal filler episodes. You know what I mean? They're like the Dragon Ball Z side quest episodes where it's like, I didn't need to watch. They're the Excalibur episodes and God, what was that show called? Soul Eater? Yeah, Soul Eater. I was like, what show was that called? Because that is the definition of a filler episode, in my opinion. Soul Eater. Is that another thing I got to ruin from my childhood too? I guess I was like almost an adult when I watched that, but still. But yeah, just as tapes, like these are just kind of like, I guess like back in the day they used to do this with shows on tape, wouldn't they? They would just release like random volumes or collection of episodes that had like some pseudo theme, and they're like, that's good enough to sell it. And you know what, I don't think I like I don't think those tapes are that good. I think they're kind of stupid, because it's like, what's the point of this? You're not getting any full story or anything like that, and that's how it makes that whole experience kind of null and void. But I did want to check out Beast Wars before the new Beast Wars movie, The Rise of the Beasts, come out. That I hope is a lot better than this. But I still think Beast Wars, the idea of it's cool, because who doesn't like giant robot animals, right? I guess they're really not that big in this show, are they? Like in the movies they're like huge, but like in this show, like they're pretty comparable to the animal size, I guess. I just thought of that. Also, this is a weird planet where there's just random like dinosaurs, and I guess the dinosaurs they get with the fossils, but like, you know, there's a gorilla and a cheetah and rats, and you know what I mean? Giant spiders, and it's like, what is this planet? So that's kind of the problem when you go down these nostalgia rabbit holes, is like sometimes you find something that's like, yes, this is better than I remember, and then you find something that's like, what is this? And that's kind of what happened here with Beast Wars for me, where it was like, yeah, it did not live up to the nostalgia, and it was like, as soon as that tape popped in and you see that animation, you're like, ooh, okay. That's just kind of the risk you run into with this whole nostalgia thing. It's nice to go down memory lane at some point, but I took down this trip, ate some memberberries, and got the shits.
People do that. Old people, they look back at the good old days, and it was good because they were young. But they act like it was the day. No, it was because youth is good. That's gone, and you're fucked.